Hi. I wanted to come at you today and answer a question that has come through. I have answered it previously, but it's been quite a while, so I thought it was totally worth answering again. The question is, why should I work with a writing coach? I've got to be honest with you, I can only answer it from my point of view, from my perspective and my expertise. So that's what I'm going to do. But I'm going to try to give you a general idea of what any writing coach that you might engage should be able to give to you, right? If you are investing, you want to make sure you get the most support for your money. So first and foremost, the thing that working with a writing coach can give you is accountability. Now, if you have invested, that right there is a big, big key into remaining accountable, but it's not a get out of jail free card. You know, a writing coach is not going to crack a whip or literally stand over your shoulder and make sure you do the writing. But what it does is it sets up a structure so that you know that they're going to be waiting for your words on a weekly, fortnightly, or monthly basis, right? The best way to find out if accountability is one of the key ways that they can support you in having better, more prolific output is to take Gretchen Rubin's 4 Tendencies quiz. Now, I'll put the link below. I love this quiz. Why? Because it can help tell you where you actually come from on getting stuff done. Now, there are 4 tendencies, as the title would suggest. They are upholder, obliger, questioner, and rebel. I'm an obliger, so that means that, for example, if I want to up my fitness, I know the best, quickest way to do that is to actually engage a personal trainer. Why? Because I know if they are waiting for me, I'm going to show up. If they're watching me, I'm going to do all the reps. If they are reviewing my food log and my water intake with me, I'm going to do those things. Why? Because if I don't lose weight, that is a sure sign that I'm not doing everything. So even when they're not literally with me, I'm doing the things that I promised them and myself that I would do to get the results. Same thing happens with a writing coach. You know, and they know that you're supposed to be doing a certain amount of word output, maybe word count or number of pages or even number of hours. But if you keep falling short, at least it will give you information on what to chat about to break down that particular barrier. Like what is going on. So that kind of leads me into the second thing, which is a writing coach helps you to get out of your head. And when I say head, I actually mean conversation or listening to the monologue given by your internal editor. I have a lot of information about this. I've got some tips and tricks on how you can manage your own internal editor and make friends with them. But I have to tell you that even when you have all the tips and tricks, the best of us can still get caught up in this. So if you are meeting with a writing coach, preferably once a week to really clear any bottlenecks quickly. But even if it's not once a week, if it's fortnightly or even monthly, that external voice of expertise can really help you smack down all the rubbish that comes your way from that internal editor that's trying to keep you safe, but let's be real, they're really keeping you from writing what you need to be writing. The third thing that a really good writing coach can help you do is to help you stay focused on what you're doing now, all the while keeping in mind where you want to end up, right? They help keep you on the path when maybe you want to veer off and go over here. Oh, I've got this bright idea and go over here. Now, some of this really has to do with how you resonate and work with this particular writing coach. So spend some time finding the right writing coach for you. But they can help not only hold the flame of where you want to go, but to make sure that you are on a regular basis taking the steps and staying focused on what you need to be focused on. That means not worrying about the cover look when you are 2 pages in and not worrying about what the best title will be. You look, that's going to change. I've got stories that I could tell you about how that will potentially change. use things for inspiration for sure, but please, please, pretty please, don't get caught up in what is the perfect title or what is the perfect cover. Certainly, if you're going the traditional publishing route, you won't have ultimate control over that anyway. Hopefully collaborative, but still, it's not the thing you should be worrying about right now on page 2. So your writing coach will keep that in mind, but they'll help you stay on page 2, 3, 4, 100, 200. Okay? Now, the last thing that a really great writing coach should be able to do for you is to help you vet your ideas and retain clarity, or gain clarity if you didn't have it in the first case. Now, this can happen even if they are not actually reading all of your pages as you go. Why? Number one, most of the things that you are struggling with, you know you're struggling with. Okay? And so you can bring those up in a coaching call. Number two, just getting stuff out of your head and in that conversation between you and your internal editor can really help a seasoned writing coach to figure out what are those things that you're actually passionate about, as opposed to what are those things that are coming up because you think you should write them or you could write them, right? That doesn't mean it's a great idea. What I bring to the table that might be a slightly different from some other writing coaches, and they certainly have zone of genius that is different to mine, and have strengths that I don't. But what I would say is, working as I do, selling books into publishers, both massive traditional publishers as well as smaller, more agile indie publishers, is I know how to look at things from a market perspective. And I can actually give my clients feedback that have come directly from publishers and editors themselves. So I'm not just making it up. You know, I'm also one that is going to support the writerly process first. So I'm not just going to pick the thing that sounds like it's going to be great for market. Why? Because let me tell you, if you don't actually have the passion for it, you won't do it justice, and it's going to sound hollow. So you will have spent all this time writing something that you think is going to ride the wave of whatever trend is going now, but it's just not delivered with a sincerity that a publisher would want. And they don't necessarily know that, but there's just something lacking. We might call it the X factor. I'm going to call it the passion factor. If you're not in it for you first, it's not really going to ring true for your reader. And publishers and editors that you're submitting to are your readers after you get to that point. So those are my reasons for why it could be good for you to invest in working with a writing coach. I didn't really mention this because I think it goes without saying, with the accountability, with getting out of your head, with keeping you focused on the very next step rather than the end goal, the paramount thing that a writing coach can help you with is actually writing faster, okay? So you will get a whole manuscript so much faster. My experience has been somebody who went from 130 pages in a year, which is, you know, nothing to sneeze at, but then 350 pages in 8 weeks. That's huge. Somebody who took 10 years on her first manuscript, 6 months to write a second manuscript. Okay, so those are the sorts of results you want to look for. I highly recommend getting testimonials or recommendations and talking to some clients from each one, because there are lots of writing coaches out there and you want to find the writing coach that's right for you. If you think it could be me, of course, you are welcome to send me an email at anjanette@storyaslife.com. Check out any of my social media things below. Look at my website, check out some of my testimonials and some programs that I run as a first step to see if you like my style. That is totally fine. I welcome it, and I actually encourage you to meet as many writing coaches as possible to see what they can give you so that it matches what you want for yourself. Because you have a story to tell, and it's time to tell it. Until next time, see you.